Okay, we're just starting turn 5.
So I've just for initiative. So I've got 4 ADCs, but I get +1 for my reserve, and they do get it. So I've got 4 ADCs.
Okay, so for the French, I've got Cavalry and 2 Infantry brigades on the table, so 3 on the table, 4 on the table. So everything's on the table, so 3 plus for the French. Yeah, I've got 4 ADCs too. We'll allocate those and then roll for initiative of our brigades. Okay, now rolling for activation of brigades, starting with the KGL.
Yep.
Active.
My line.
Yep.
Troops.
Cocked. Alright, roll it again if it's cocked.
Active.
Your guard.
My guards, these do have a reroll. They're active.
And your Hanoverians.
Hanoverians are active. So I get a reroll for my reserve, see if they come up. Reroll. No.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay,
all
I'll have a go.
Are active, so it is really fine, but...
My hesitant brigade that got thrown out the village with a reroll are active. My large brigade beside them with a reroll are active. My cavalry, who've got a forwards order but no reroll, have got a forwards order off. Then my brigade that
defending
is now holding the far village is active. So I've got all my brigades active.
If you had those rerolls, you would have had 2 hesitants.
Initiative. 11 for the French. I think the French have initiative.
Yes, you do.
Alright, we'll start with charges and then movement in turn 5. Okay, so quite a lot of movement in turn 5. What we've seen go on is the French have moved the first of their 3 battalions forward, and the 2nd battalion, which did recoil from the building, has been able to form up. In the centre, their central brigade has advanced somewhat, so it's also now within charge range of the village, and they've both thrown their skirmish screens forward. In the centre, with the forwards order, we've now got 2 wings of 2 cavalry regiments, the 1st and the 6th, Chasseurs et Cheval, have burst through in the centre. In response, Charlie has formed square with 2 of his British infantry battalions. Over on this flank, the French have formed more lines to increase the resilience of their defensive position, and they've driven the Hanoverian skirmishers away into the wood, and they've revealed the last Hanoverian unit, which is a unit of Hanoverian lights, just the other side of that forest. And Charlie has formed up both of his Hanoverian units, so we're going to get some musketry exchanges. And his guard battalion has used its elite status to form column from line and then advanced in line towards the edge of the buildings. Can't charge this turn, but in a good position. Otherwise, the balance of Charlie's lines have remained stationary. And we'll move on to firing in turn 5. Alright, so turn 5, just starting shooting. So the French garrison is going to fire 3 shots against the Guards battalion because they see them as more of a threat. So they fire their 3 shots at the Guards battalion that moved up this turn. My gosh, that's 3 casualties on the Guards, if you could mark that up, Charlie. Okay, now the French skirmishers. We've got a large skirmish screen of 6. How do you remember how many shots 6 skirmishers get, Charlie? 5 to 6 skirmishers get 4 dice. Firing at the other skirmish, well, we'll fire 3 of them at the skirmish screen and 3 of them at the Guards.
That'll be 2 up here and 1 up there.
It'll be,
I think.
Yeah, if it's only 4 dice, we'll do 1 at the skirmishers, which does nothing, and 2. So that's 1 casualty on the other Guards battalion. We'll then volley with this battalion against the ones, we'll go for the ones in the open because they're a slightly easier target. So these are my guys in the woods. No penalties on this. That's an 8 for a standard infantry volley. I think there's going to be quite a lot of casualties from firing this turn, Charlie. 8 is 3 casualties against that unit. And then these guys who will be firing at -3 because they've taken so many casualties, but they're behind their own skirmish screen, so they can't fire. My artillery battery here is out of action this turn. It's started pivoting away from the village, so it can start potentially threatening the centre of the British line. Now we've forced some of their infantry into squares, but it'll have to do another turn of manhandling to complete its wheeling necessary to bring it to bear on those new targets. So no firing from the French in the centre. There's loads of cavalry here, and then we've got another French skirmish screen. This skirmish screen, 3 bases perhaps can fire into the village, so we'll fire one dice. 6, that's 1 casualty onto the guys in the village. And then we've got the other skirmish screen here of 3 bases. So that again is 3 dice, that's 2 to fire into a building, 1 more casualty. Then we've got the French artillery battery. That will have a go at the KGL who are out in the open in the column over there. Now there are a few modifiers for that. I will just check those out before we...
It's just 1 more dice, it's just 1 more dice, that's all.
Okay, so firing this artillery battery, the KGL are in column. So that's a 6 and a 3. 3 does nothing, because you need 4 on the casualty dice to cause a casualty. 6 on the effects chart at long range is only half a casualty. So on a 4, 5 or 6 this will turn into a casualty. It does. So that's 1 casualty on the KGL. And I'll check, but I think that's the end of the French firing this turn.
3 dice.
Okay.
2 dice at your skirmishes. 1 casualty. I'm going to shoot my skirmishes at your skirmishes again. There's nothing. I'm going to shoot both squares at...
But you know they're a half effect and you move, so it'll be inferior fire, so it'll be quite difficult.
I'm going to both shoot them.
Okay.
First one gets 10.
10. Okay, so 10. An inferior volley is 3 casualties in a discipline test. Goes down to 1 casualty because it's a square, but it's still 1 casualty and a discipline test on the right hand cavalry unit.
And then my other one is going to shoot at the same cavalry unit.
And the same cavalry unit. I think it has to shoot at the other one because they'll shoot at the closer one, shall we?
It gets 6, it's just 5 discipline.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's just nothing, it's just nothing.
6 is a half.
No, there's no half.
Inferior volley, 6 is 1 casualty. Yeah, but halving it, you take that down to 0. Okay, so you got some... You got your skirmishers there, Charlie.
Okay, so I get 2 dice, 1 casualty.
What was that firing against?
Them.
Okay. Don't do anything yet, Charlie. I'll just pop dice down.
Oh, I can put them on now.
Alright.
I can shoot the other one at the cavalry.
No, because you were your square. They were in the way of your square actually, and you fired the square, which we shouldn't have done. But we'll just do that.
I'll shoot this troop's volley.
Okay, so that's a superior volley. If you're British.
Oh, 11.
And 11. Okay, and 11 is 5 casualties and a discipline test. Oh my gosh.
1, 2.
We'll put 2 dice on it as it was a discipline test. One of these others was a discipline test as well, wasn't it? It was on these.
Yeah.
Cavalry.
Oh, Dad, you're doing so badly with that battalion now. 2 pounds are going to die. Guess how many casualties they have?
What? How many?
10.
Oh my god.
So this one could finish them off, and actually no, I might let that one survive.
That's the trouble. You're the British firepower.
I'm gonna.
Just so good.
I'm gonna let that one survive, so I can make you falter next turn. Right. I'm gonna let that one survive, so I can shoot that one and kill it.
Our next infantry battalion could also fire.
That one's gonna shoot inferior volley at your skirmishers, because that's just a pain.
I don't think so. I think they have to fire at that battalion you just shot at, really, Charlie.
Okay, they're not gonna shoot them.
Sure.
No. I'm gonna get this battalion to shoot. Has to shoot at the skirmishers.
Okay, so that's -2.
But it's clear.
Did you move forward this time?
No.
You didn't, did you? So superior volley, and it's a large battalion, so you get an extra combat dice. So roll a blue one. Have you got a blue one?
No.
There you go.
So that would just do that extra casualty.
Okay.
So that's just nothing. He gets 5.
Okay. Superior volley is yeah, but it's down by 2, isn't it? Because you're firing at skirmishers. So that's a 3. So that's
nothing. I don't think
that's fire discipline actually. But yeah, okay.
So I'm going to shoot this artillery gun.
Yeah.
At that one.
The one with 11 casualties.
Yeah. If this doesn't work, the other one has to do it. It's at medium range. They're both at medium range.
The first one.
Yeah, it's done. It's got 11.
11. They're
Don't
destroyed.
even roll.
I won't. And then the other battery.
The other battery's going to shoot at the line battalion behind it.
Okay. That's
Long
probably
range.
also, yeah, let's see its long range. We'll remember what the score is and we'll measure it afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, 6. That would be half casualty. No matter what, that's half casualty, I think.
It's 1 if it's a medium range, so roll it again and if you get a 4, 5 or 6.
No.
Okay.
But let's see if it's...
Let's see what range it is. Alright, we'll measure that up and apply the results. Be back in a second. Okay, so we were just rolling our Falter tests, and unfortunately we've got a 2 on this battalion. The battalion here was wiped out by Charlie and his fire. and the one to its right, which had just suffered 10 casualties, has rolled a 2, so it retreats and lose 1d3 casualties. We'll roll the casualties, it's already on 10. 11, so it's still around.
I hope
but
that's
it's
unhappy.
on 11 casualties.
That is good for
so
me.
really quite unhappy.
That's good.
Might be out of range though from you,
No,
Charlie.
it won't be. I can shoot battery artillery, counter battery fire.
Yeah, you've got to shoot the closest unit really, rather than picking units out at the back. So
I
I'm not sure you
can. Dad, you shot your artillery at back unit, not the front.
Well, that's
ones.
because it's the only one it could see.
Well, I can. That's
It
a.
was out in the open.
But I can see that one, so
Well, we'll
it's
see. Let's do the cavalry test. A 6, so they're unformed, but otherwise all right. Okay, and I think that was it for discipline tests for the French. We'll finish up marking up the casualties, and then do an overview of where we are
And
at
the
the end of
Falter test.
shooting. And do the Falter test, but that's at the beginning of the next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a summary for turn 6 from the British side of the table. So holding the village, still have the British forces in control, 2 KGL battalions supporting the KGL Lights who have occupied the village. Facing off, still some very strong French forces here. Small brigade of 3 battalions and a large brigade of 6 battalions, being flanked by all of their cavalry. French 1st Chasseurs and the 6th Chasseurs in support. And there we have the British who've formed square, and then the British line that's just did the devastating volleys against the French. And that French brigade is now looking in not great shakes.
Well,
It
all the
still
skirmishes
holds the village, and its skirmishers are still thrown out, up to the British to push them away
They should
now.
be gone, shouldn't they?
Why, no, the brigade's not run away.
They should go back to the
No,
brigade.
they're fine where they are, as long as they're 3
Oh,
inches
yeah.
away from you.
They
And
are. They're
then,
very close to me.
French are still holding the village though. So the French left flank is now looking quite weak and likely to be overwhelmed by the British. But the British centre is under a lot of threat from the French. That's where we are at the end of turn 6, and we have a Falter test to do as we do the ADCs at the beginning of this turn. Okay, rolling for ADCs on turn 6. French have got 2.
The British have 2.
And 1 off table.
No, just 2.
Okay, we'll allocate our ADCs and then see which brigades are active. Alright, the important stuff, I've had to allocate both my ADCs to this brigade because they're currently faltering a unit having been destroyed in the turn by the French fire. And we did confirm that you do have to indeed shoot at the closest target, which I show a degree of latitude with, but Charlie picking out the 1 damaged battalion at the back of my line we have ruled is not on. So he's not going to get a second Falter test this turn, but he has got this one as a result of the frontline unit being destroyed. So let's roll, see where we get to on the Falter test.
2.
It's a 2. Let's have a look at the table. Charlie, what does a 2 give us?
I'm going to want to probably re-roll that. I think it's a retire all units near the enemy and then.
Here we go. Faltering brigades. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Right, on a 2, this is a veteran brigade, gets a retire. We definitely don't want it to retire, so we'll have a reroll. And we get a 4.
Oh, that's still quite annoying.
That's a rally. Okay.
But that's still quite annoying.
So rally, the brigade successfully rallies, retreating units, but routed units disperse. We don't have any routed units. Remove the Falter marker and place it as hesitant. And I must immediately step back, except for garrisons, if I'm within 9 inches of formed enemy close order units. Alright, we'll do that before we do the rest of the brigade activations.
You won't be.
Alright, I'll roll for the rest of my unit. For my small brigade, they are active. For my large brigade, it is active. Importantly, for my cavalry brigade, it's active. So 3 active brigades and 1 hesitant. Charlie, your turn.
So my KGL active, my line active, my the King's Guard active, my Hanoverians active.
Okay, cool.
Initiative.
So I'm testing at -1 because I've got my faltering brigade, which is now hesitant. I get a 5.
I get
British
9.
get 9, British get +1 as well, so British have got the initiative this turn. Okay, so quite an eventful turn in turn 6. The French are starting to have a go to recapture this village. So the right-hand battalion of the large infantry brigade here has charged into the village. In addition, this second brigade is now reformed and moving up in support, and the artillery will open fire at the KGL probably to help support this flank.
And also funny, you might take your village back, you control the start. I might take my village I had in the start, so just swap around again.
That's right.
Because it constantly swapped.
In the centre, the French cavalry is fanning out to try and pin more of the British infantry in the centre.
But the bad thing
they'll
is,
take some fire from the squares this turn, I'm sure.
But also the bad thing is the British reinforcements are arriving from this flank. More troops are swaying over.
Yeah, this is true. And then this French artillery battery and the other French artillery battery can start firing now. Their lines of fire have been cleared, so although their brigade in the centre on the left has fallen back, it has at least unmasked the French artillery. So they'll hopefully do some damage to the British this turn. And this village is still in French hands, but the Guard infantry have charged in this turn, so that looks like they may be on, as Charlie was just saying, about to recapture the village. We'll see how we go in turn 6. Okay, so we're starting with the Allied fire. Charlie, where are you opening fire from?
So I'm shooting this artillery battery at that unit what the instruction things are on, not the back one, the one in front of it.
That one? Yeah, sure.
And the other
That's
one
be long
is going
range.
for the same target, because it's straight.
Yeah, I think, because that one's partly masked by the village, so I'll let you do that. They can both have a go. They're both at long range. First battery, and you will get bounce through much.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of bad planning by me, because
I didn't actually notice.
You'll then wipe the unit out behind, which is on 11 casualties.
War Falter.
It's not deliberate, it was just bad placement by me.
And I also didn't notice that would
it.
happen. You just pointed it out. If you didn't say that, I wouldn't have known.
Indeed.
And so I probably will destroy it, because I had 2 times chance to bounce through.
Yeah.
First shot, 8.
8 at long range, does 1 casualty.
Second shot.
Yeah.
Should shoot both batteries and 2.
And then you can do both bounce throughs, yeah.
So 2 dice bounce throughs next. Or a 10.
An 8 and a 10 does 2 casualties, so that's 3 casualties and a discipline test, and then do your 2 bounce throughs.
1 casualty, they're gone.
Okay, they're gone, so it'll be another Falter test on this brigade this turn, and 3 casualties and a discipline test on that battalion at the front. We'll roll their discipline test. They're on 1, so this will be at -1, because they'll now be on 4. That's a 3, that's not good. That's a bit of a blow. I think a 3 on a discipline test is retreat, lose 1d3 casualties. So I lose both those 2 battalions this turn, and that brigade is down to 3 battalions. This flank is looking in deep trouble for the French. This has swung really quickly. Okay, firing the square.
9.
9. A standard volley is 3, so that's 1 casualty and a discipline test.
I'll put 1. And
Okay, and we'll put another one behind it for a discipline test. That one's just over 9 inches away. I measured it, so I didn't go within 9-inch range, so that one's out of range.
What, did you get back?
Hmm?
Did you get backwards?
No, that was the one much further forward. That was the one that did the charge. The other one should be more than 9.
This one.
Should be more than 9, because I didn't advance within musket range.
It is.
Yeah, well, it should be a little bit back.
It's in range.
Alright, fire it then, but it shouldn't be.
2 dice. That's cocked. Ooh, 17. Do 7.
7, standard volley is 1 casualty.
Why does it only have... Oh no, I thought it was going to be 2 casualties with that last turn, but I have...
We had to halve it.
These skirmishers...
Okay.
Are you shooting through those skirmishers? 1 dice?
2 dice, because
isn't it 3 dice?
It's a 3 base, and it's got a rifleman as well, so it's 3 dice, yeah.
Oh, 2 casualties, so that's
Okay,
gone.
we'll put those on. Yeah, well, that's a base gone.
It's gone. You've lost a lot of French troops.
Yeah.
They probably hate you right now, so...
We've done the defensive volley from the KGL in the village.
So that's... Is it? You actually don't
Done
have
the
much...
squares. Those have all fired. They'll be out of range. I think that's all your shooting, Charlie.
And I don't think you can only shoot your artillery, that's it, because everything else is either out of range, being charged and already shot, or in column would be a horrible idea.
Right, I'll fire my skirmish screen, and I've got
Oh, sorry,
3 dice
skirmish
first.
screen.
Yeah, 1 dice. No. 3 dice by me. 1 casualty on that skirmish screen.
First casualty.
Right, I'm going to fire 3 shots. Oh no, the village has already fired. Oh, you've got 2 dice from those skirmishes as well, Charlie.
Yeah, just gonna 1, 2 die. 2 casualties.
Okay, so they take them up to 3. All right.
It's just as the last French defence up there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your firing. My firing. We're going to fire this artillery battery against the guards. I think that will be
1 casualty on the
long range. I think we'll check it. That's an 8 at long range,
Still
which
half
is
casualty.
1 casualty on an 8.
I thought it was half.
1. So that's 1.
I did half last time.
7 is half. Okay, this artillery battery is going to fire at long range against that one. 9
Wait.
is 1 casualty and a discipline test. So a
There.
discipline test for those, please, Charlie.
Okay.
How many casualties are they?
They've taken 4 now.
Okay, so this is a discipline test at -1.
So I need 8
Yeah.
or higher. I'm fine. Got
Did you
9.
get- Okay, yeah, you're all right. So my artillery have fired. These skirmishers got nothing to fire at. And those skirmishers, they're in combat. Those skirmishers will fire at your skirmishers. No, nothing. And then this artillery battery will fire down
Right, let's go.
at the KGL. So this is the artillery battery on the hill here, firing at the KGL. 6. I think that's at long range. I think that's half a casualty. We'll just check that. But it is, I've caused 1 casualty, so whether that's at long or medium range, that'll still be the same. All right, that's all the firing done, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
We'll now go into hand-to-hand combat. Okay, doing the assault on this building, I start with 5 combat dice for a fully effective battalion, but I lose 1 for assaulting a built-up area. Charlie starts with 5 dice. He gains 1 for being veteran, but loses 1 for having 6 casualties. So it's 5 against 4. We'll roll the French first. 2 casualties for the French.
British get 2.
2 casualties, so we go on to a second round of combat. So I'm now on 3 casualties, and you're on 8, aren't you?
But I get 4 dice, but I do get reinforcements.
No, not till...
No, this is the second round.
Oh yeah, but I've got reinforcements too, because I've got
But you
units
don't
in
have
support.
infantry assault.
Oh, that's true. But
I warned you.
Yeah, does it happen like that?
Yes, it does.
Alright, okay, so I get...
So 4 dice, and then I get 2 5s after.
So I get 2.
I get 3 casualties with that. Next, troops.
Yeah.
3 casualties, so 6. The last one.
You don't get 3 lots. I'll check the rules.
If we don't do that, if it's like,
You've still done 3 and you've thrown me back.
Yeah.
Bit hard.
this one did 4,
Wow.
6. That's 10 casualties. They'll be on 11.
No, they'll be gone if that's true.
They'll be gone.
Alright, we'll check that. It's either the British have won by causing 3 casualties to me, or potentially they've caused 10. I'll just check the rules on that. Okay, we checked that, and needless to say, the rules genius that is Charlie was absolutely right. If units are within 3 inches, it doesn't actually say they have to be on infantry support, because they don't have to be supporting units, they just have to be within 3 inches. They can throw themselves into the combat. And we're treating the edge of the built-up area as the unit. In that case, Charlie was indeed able to throw all 3 battalions of KGL into the combat in the second round. The French, knowing that he had 3, and the French not having anyone else to throw in, get to choose whether they want to fight the second round, as does indeed Charlie, or you can retire. Charlie decided to stay in combat because he then had 3 units. The French decided then that, because the defender gets to choose first, the attacker then decided that he did not want to pursue the combat, he didn't feel he had enough support, so the French have pulled back. So the KGL again hold that village, and that's going to be a tough nut to crack. Alright, let's go and do the combat in the other village, Charlie.
So I get 5 plus You're very weak up there, I think.
No, I don't think so.
I think I have 2 more alligators above
I've only
you.
taken 3
I
casualties.
have 2 alligators above you because I'm...
I think you are, because you're elite. So
And
I
I'm
think you're going to
guards.
do quite well.
I'm guardsman too.
So I get 5 dice and +1 for a built-up area. You get +1 for being elite.
Yeah.
So that takes you to 6.
Mhm.
You're a large unit, so you get +1 for that.
Mhm.
And you're 2 morale grades above me,
That's nearly all my dice gone.
so you add 2 more.
I actually don't have enough dice. Wait, this one. There we go. So I have just enough.
All right, let's roll. I think you're going to be in the village. My God, I do well.
What? Oh,
5 casualties.
I do 1, 2, 3. That wasn't hitting that word. 5.
Wow, we've both done 5 casualties. We get to fight a second round if we want. Again, Charlie's done great positioning here. Even though he's not got infantry assault, he does have 3 battalions within 3 inches of the built-up area. So if I stay on to this second round of combat, Charlie is going to attack me with 20 odd worth of dice, given that he's got 2 elite battalions he can throw in, and he can throw in the Hanoverians as well. So I think the French have got no options. They're going to retire and relinquish the village and not lose another battalion straight away this turn. So we'll just go and do that movement. Okay, so here we are at the end of turn 6. So the French have got to do another Falter test. Their brigade that was down to 3 battalions has been thrown out of the village. Charlie, wisely, despite my advice, decided to occupy the village with his undamaged Hanoverians rather than with the guard, because the guard had already taken 8 casualties. We didn't actually fight the second round of combat, so I'm not sure whether he can technically do that, but anyway, hey, I let him do it, so that's fine, that's done. So we move across. We've still got the French cavalry attack unravelling or unwinding in the middle, and plenty of French artillery in the centre, and plenty of French infantry battalions. We really have got to take this village, but the 3 KGL battalions are going to be a tough nut to crack, and Charlie is allowed to bring on his heavy cavalry as well as his light cavalry reserve, which he's still got to deploy. Neither of those 2 units are yet in action. The French heavy cavalry is also available from next turn. So, British in pretty strong position. They hold both villages at the moment, and we've got 1 French brigade about to collapse. Right, we'll move on with turn 7. Okay, so at the beginning of turn 7, I've had to use both my ADCs to try and protect the faltering brigade, and Charlie's used all his ADCs to bring on his light cavalry reserve. We'll now roll for activation. We'll start with the French. So my faltering brigade get a 5, which is at least a rally. That's good, we'll keep that. Then my light cavalry brigade is active. My big French infantry brigade is active, and my smaller French infantry brigade is hesitant. So I'm on -1, possibly -2, depending on what a 5 is on a Falter test.
So my KGL,
Yeah.
active. Line, active. My guards, active. My Hanoverians, hesitant. That's the only hesitant brigade.
Alright, so we'll just look at the faltering brigade test. On a 5, we've got obey orders, so that brigade isn't hesitant, which is good for me. So we're both...
But nearly got another Falter test because it's bounced through.
Yeah, but you only get 1 Falter test a turn.
Yeah, but next time I could shoot with cannons again and bounce through.
So did I have a hesitant brigade?
Yes, you did.
that one. So I'm testing on -1 for initiative, and Charlie, you're also on -1. French have rolled 3.
I got 11.
Okay, the British have initiative in turn 7. Okay, we're back. It's Sunday morning. It's still raining. It seems to have been raining forever. So we're resuming the game. It's the start of turn 7, and Charlie kicks off with charges first, Charlie, and then movement. Any charges, mate?
How far is cavalry charging?
I think it's...
80, but you rolled
I think it's 15 plus a d6, if I'm right. So cavalry normal movement is 15 inches. Yeah, I'll come back. I'll find that in a second rather than keeping the video running. We found it. It's a charge bonus of 6 inches. So they go 15 plus 6, so it's up to 21.
So
I'm just looking at your cavalry. No, it's just a standard 6 inches. It's only if they've got a forwards order, then they get a bonus 1d6. So you've got 2 units of light dragoons there, 1 in the rear, and 2 units of hussars.
I was going to charge this one, and they can charge into your flank, I think.
Okay, we'll come and check this out. Okay, so we've done the first cavalry charge of the game. Charlie's light dragoons have charged that unit of chasseurs à cheval. So we both need to do a charge roll. So it's cocked. So the French have got a 6.
And the British got a 12.
And the British got a 12. That doesn't look too good for the French.
But also, don't I get a destiny test?
Yeah, you might do. We'll check that in a second. So we're both line, so no adjustment for that. I'm campaign cavalry, so you get +1, so you're on 13. Not unformed. I've got a narrower frontage, you're on 14. Don't think either of us have got many casualties. I've only got 2. Okay, I'm not hesitant, but that is a pretty terrible result. So you won by...
You got 6 and I got 14.
8. -6, cavalry versus cavalry. Attacker victory, defender routs, and I take 1d6 casualties. Oh my god, this is going from bad to worse. Alright, I'll move those and you get to charge on if you wish, Charlie. And oh my god, that might expose my artillery. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so we just did that, and I routed. I took 1d6 casualties, fortunately I only rolled 2, so they've fallen back, but Charlie is now in the flank of my second chasseur unit. And he's also got a destiny test because he rolled a double 6 in a charge. So roll 2 dice, Charlie. Let's see what your destiny result is.
I got 6.
6. Steady the buffs. Recover 1 casualty or melee with a lan.
Melee with a lan.
Okay, so your unit have got a lan, having burst through, and will now charge into the flank of the second unit. Okay, so let's roll for that charge result as you go into the second unit. Oh, I've done a bit better. French have rolled a 10.
It's cocked. The British get an 8.
Okay, and then adjustments. We're both still line.
Your campaign cavalry.
Your campaign, so you go 9. You're unformed, so you lose 2.
So I'm on 7.
7, and you're on a wider frontage. Well, you charge me in the flank. Okay, so you get +2 for that.
Okay.
You've got no casualties, I've got no casualties. I think that's it. So I've got 10. What have you got, Charlie?
I got 9, so it's just a straight roll off combat.
Okay, so not to -1 cavalry. Attacker melee, and I countercharge and melee.
How can you countercharge?
I don't know. We'll just check that in the rules with a flank attack whether you can indeed countercharge. But we're just into a normal melee. Anyway.
But I do also have a land though, so.
And you do have a land, which will help you. All right, we'll do that in the hand-to-hand combat section. Okay, we're just doing charging by the French. This chasseur regiment has charged the English line regiment here. They have tested and formed square. Charlie's now going to do a passing fire shot.
Okay, so that was a 6.
And that was a 6, and that will be
a superior
volley at close range. Is 2 casualties on me.
Okay, so now should I
and
go
then
for my
defensive volley for the. So this will be an inferior volley because you moved, because you formed square.
Oh, 12.
Oh my gosh, that's another destiny test. 12 is 4, so that's 6 casualties on that unit this turn. I hate British musketry. So,
can I roll for my destiny test?
And a destiny test for you as well, Charlie.
I have 4 casualties, so I want to get rid of it.
Let's see what you get.
I get 8.
8. Discipline. Recover 1 casualty, change formation or melee with a man.
Yes, I'm recovering a casualty as well.
Okay, so I'll mark up the 6 casualties there.
I've got a horse. 6. There we go.
We are going to have a go at charging that line with the chasseurs. I'll just
you
check
would be able
see
to
if
turn
I
and
can do
go
that.
for that small gap. I think.
Let's see. I can wheel as much as my charge bonus, so I think I can wheel up to 6 inches.
I didn't get a charge bonus.
Well, you didn't need to because you just went straight into me. You did get a charge bonus because you can go up to 21. Okay, so my second chasseur regiment has charged the one in line. I should have probably done it the other way round, then they wouldn't have been able to do passing fire at my other regiment, so lessons learned. Charlie does get a passing fire shot from his square though first.
I think a skirmishers.
If they're within, I think that gap's too small. I'll give you 2 stands from the skirmishers. Do the skirmishers first then.
Okay. 1 casualty.
1 casualty, and then
Passing fire.
passing fire from the square I'm riding across the frontage of.
They get 8.
8, okay, and 8 is 3 casualties in a discipline test.
So that is.
So that
4
takes it down
casualties.
to it takes it down to 2 because you remember you halve squares. And actually, when we did the 6 casualties on my other unit, we should have halved that. So it's still, I think we've still got to do a discipline test on both those units.
Line. I shot the line, but got the 12. The line.
Oh, the line got the 12, did they?
I think so.
We'll just replay the video and check that. Okay, so we've just checked back on the video, and indeed it was the square that got a double 6. So rather than causing 4 casualties, it only done 2. But I've got discipline tests on both these units, so we'll roll them first. The 6 chasseurs who went into the square got are on 7 casualties, so this is a test at -1. That's 7, so they are unformed.
6. I'm on 6. You're fighting a square.
What have you got 6 for, Charlie?
For my charge, square. The square.
You've already rolled that. You didn't form square, did you?
No, for this one. You said you had 7 casualties on that one.
That was that one.
Yes.
And then I've got to do the discipline test on this one. You haven't got to do a discipline test.
Oh.
So a discipline test on my other chasseurs. That's a 7. How many casualties they got, Charlie?
They've got 2 in the first part.
Okay, so they are fine. All right, so we'll now do the charge results. Okay, we'll now do the charges for charging the square. So how many casualties? I succumbed to 4 casualties this turn, so we're off for the French. We've got an 8.
But it's got a 6.
Okay, so the French casualties, French cavalry is standard.
They've taken 7 casualties in shooting.
Hang on, they're not charging on, they're not heavy cavalry, they're not campaign cavalry
They
against battle cavalry though. They are unformed, so 8 becomes 6.
They've taken 7 casualties in the charge. Not 7, I mean,
They took 4 casualties
Yeah.
in the charge. Okay, casualties in charge was 4, so that is -2.
and I'm also fighting a
And I've
square.
also got 7 casualties as well, so that's -3. So I was on 8, and so that's -5, so I am on
3.
3.
You're charging a square. So
Yeah,
that's my
I've
pluses.
done that. Oh no, I haven't. You've got that. So square gives you +2.
Okay.
So what are you on?
I am on 8.
Okay, and how many casualties you got?
Only 3.
Okay, so you're on 8. I'm on 3. Cavalry versus square. I retire, lose 1 casualty, and the square stands and also loses 1 casualty.